So apparently, Nintendo found a way to butt all of its most loyal customers. Let's talk about that. So in case you've been in Guatemala for the past year, the Switch 2 got announced. Not only is everything tied to the Switch 2 more expensive than a car insurance payment, but there's actually something really funky going on with the new Nintendo EULA. Recently, Nintendo released a new end-user license agreement, and I just want to say, this is the most fuck-ass update in the history of updates. In short, the part of this that makes people want to get their passports in order to burn down Nintendo is a section saying that if users, quote, acknowledge that if they fail to comply with the foregoing restrictions, Nintendo may render the Nintendo account services and or the applicable Nintendo device permanently unusable in whole or in part. This basically means that if you breach the EULA, Nintendo has the right to brick the console you paid $500 for. Now, I know there's a non-zero amount of you sitting in your parents' basement saying, "But AJ, they just shouldn't break the EULA." And while I would usually agree with you, today I have to laugh in your stupid face because the rules that people have to abide by are more restrictive than skinny jeans on a Pixar mom. So according to these rules, you are explicitly not allowed to, quote, publish, copy, modify, reverse engineer, lease, rent, decompile, disassemble, distribute, offer for sale, or create derivative works, end quote, of Nintendo products. You're also not allowed to, quote, bypass, modify, decrypt, defeat, tamper with, or otherwise circumvent any of the functions or protections of the Nintendo account services, end quote. Not only does this mean Nintendo is trying to make it so you must use the console for their specific way they want you to, but these two blurbs together are obviously targeting things like emulation. Nintendo apparently wants a grip tighter than Satan's ass crack over its users, and this is some Big Brother type shit. It only gets worse the more you read. Nintendo also made it so all legal matters must be settled by arbitration. You can't sue them, you have to sit down at the dinner table and talk with Nintendo to settle things. This is bullshit. Nintendo can't be bothered to shell out a little bit of its pocket change to have a proper legal battle. Frankly, this makes Nintendo look like the largest group of pussies in the AAA gaming world. Nintendo's trying to make physical items like digital copies of games. They're trying to say, you don't own this $500 console, you own the license to use it under our jurisdiction. Modifying games and game systems is no longer a void of warranty, but now it's a void of ownership. Frankly, this pisses me off. And I haven't even played on a Nintendo console since the goddamn Wii. If you want to make it so I'm buying a cartridge with a game key as opposed to the game itself, I'm not shelling out my fucking money. AAA studios are trying to slowly strip away the idea of ownership and control everything that we buy from them. We used to be free to change things with the consequence of not being able to replace them. Now, if we even think about changing something about things that we supposedly own, it gets stripped away like mommy taking away the iPad, but indefinitely. We shouldn't stand for this, and to the f***ing losers who are gonna bite the bullet and dilute the message we're fighting for, wake the fuck up. We shouldn't let a corporation change the norm for the worse and get away with it. We need to make some noise and fight against these changes as the people who are supposed to be supporting them. If buying something doesn't mean that I own it, then pirating something doesn't mean I'm stealing it. Anyways, subscribe and spread the word. Rant over.